How's everybody doing? Good? I came in the room early to set up my tech because I was really afraid if I was talking about technology and my tech didn't work. So far so good. So we're going to talk all about technology and how that impacts our happiness today. So I'm going to start off with a question. We're going to do a quick little poll. I'm curious, show of hands, how many of you guys think that technology overall makes us happier? Yes. Who thinks? Okay. No? Unsure. Some people have two opinions. Okay. So I titled the talk, Hey Siri, Make Me Happier. So I thought, I should probably ask Siri. So I took some screenshots when I asked Siri. So first I asked her, I said, hey Siri, make me happier. And she says, that may be beyond my abilities at the moment. And then I said, hey Siri, how can I be happy? And her response, interesting question. So we're going to unpack it a little bit because the truth is, it's kind of muddy. It's sort of like following this road sign here. So there's not a clear answer, but we're going to unpack it. And so part of the reason I started talking about technology, when I was doing my PhD, I started teaching a course at the university I was at in the Department of Health Science and the Faculty of Health Science called Health and Social Media. So it was a fourth-year course. And we learned all about the different facets of social media, and specifically we looked at how it impacts our health. And this is the slide that I put up on the first day. It's a quote from Spider-Man, and he says, with great power comes great responsibility. And that's sort of how I see technology, media, social media. And we're going to unpack that a little bit and why I think that, but I think as a guiding principle, that's something that we can think about because technology isn't inherently a good thing or a bad thing, right? It's a tool. It's something that we can use to enhance our life if we do it deliberately and intentionally. It's kind of like this. I don't know if you can see this. This is a solar paneled parking meter. Say that 5 times fast. Solar panel parking meter, which I was like, oh, that's great, right? We're saving energy. There's this solar panel, except this photo is in an underground parking garage. And so, good intentions, yes, missing the mark. So this is sort of something with technology where I feel like, and I love this quote, technology is a useful servant, but a dangerous master, right? So we can use it if it serves us, but when it starts to control us or our life or our thoughts or our actions or our behaviors, we can get into trouble. So we're going to look at both sides. We're going to talk about a couple pros, a couple cons in terms of what technology does. And then, since we all here are technology users, I felt like it would be beneficial to talk about some of the ways that we can actually use technology in our life to help enhance our life. And then, time for Q&A. Sound good? Okay. So technology's evolved, right? From, remember like beepers, cell phones that were flip phones? All those are kind of coming back now, right? So it sort of evolved from this type of technology to like, I saw this on Instagram. It says, I would love to show someone from 1995 this picture and ask them what they think is happening here. She's Instagramming an ice cream with a mask on, right? Or we see things like this, where people watch things happen and record it instead of actually doing something. These people are all watching a garbage can on fire, filming it, but nobody's doing anything about it. So sometimes when we aren't very conscious of what we're doing or we start to unpack why it is that we're doing some of these things, we can get into a slippery slope. Now, this is a screenshot that I took, and I'm Canadian. You know how Google tries to guess what you're going to search, right? So this is a screenshot from my laptop where I was typing in how to be. So if you look here, the first result that came up was happy, which was actually more than being a real estate agent, a lawyer in Canada, a pilot, or even pretty. So we're searching for happiness, right? We're trying to figure out how to be happy, and we have technology that's helping us along the way. So is it good or bad? So we're going to start with some of the good features of technology. So one, we can share accomplishments and achievements, right? When we do something, especially if we don't see people all the time, like I have friends from high school on my Facebook that live in other parts of the world now, and I can see when they have a baby, I can see when they graduate, all these kind of things, my nieces and nephews. So it can be a great thing, as long as we're not doing something like this, right? This guy's saying, I can't talk right now, I'm simulating happiness on Facebook. So we're not talking about the artificial simulation of it. We're really sort of talking about this idea of sharing things that we're genuinely excited about sharing. Reminder, since this is a talk about tech, that's the hashtag for our event. So part of the cool thing about being here in Costa Rica together at the University for Peace is that we can share what's going on with each other using a hashtag, but also people that follow us on social media so they can see some of the really cool things that we have the opportunity and the privilege of sorting out, or that we're learning here. That's my tag too, that's University for Peace. So another thing that's really good is we can find health-related information and stories. And this is my niece, Ella, and her dog. And this is Bear, the dog. So I was talking about empathy with my niece. And this is her representation of empathy. We did arts and crafts one day because Bear got neutered. And so she felt bad that Bear had the cone, so she wanted to have a cone for herself. So sometimes when we go online, we can learn from other people. We can learn empathy. We can, especially if you're going through a really difficult time, sometimes it's not going to change what we're going through, but sometimes knowing you're not alone or knowing that someone else has gone through something can just make it a little more bearable, right? So sometimes we can use the internet for things like that. We find that 75% of internet users research health online, and 12% of people online on the internet today are going to be looking up health information. So it's a tool. There's a lot, not to say that it's all good. I have an entire lecture that I give about how do we discern between good information and bad information. We're not going to talk about that. But we're going to talk about another benefit, which is connection. I love this meme. It says, before cell phones and social networks,